Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second annual Virtual Tri-County Science and Technology Fair. Coming to you live, at one point, from inside of your computer. I am Matthew Newman, your Master of Ceremonies and son of Janice Newman, the founder of this fair, who has encouraged me to say I am an actor and sketch comedian, just in case any of you watching have an interest in making me famous. You can find my work on YouTube under my comedy troupe Flambe Comedy, or follow me digitally at Matt's Newmans on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Some of my material can be a tad PG-13 and is not endorsed by the fair, or really anyone in America or around the world. They just landed a helicopter on Mars, and word came back that I am also not famous there. But I keep on doing it anyway. Last year, our fair was fully digital, and this year is no different. These difficult times have brought us many challenges, but with the dedication of our volunteers, students, teachers, and judges, we have turned what was once a big what if into a huge sense of we've done it. We would like to specifically thank our grand sponsor, PepsiCo, who has been our grand sponsor for the last 8 years. Without their generous support, we would not be able to have done this virtual fair. And if you're changing schools next year due to a move or because you're now moving into the next chapter of your life, such as middle school to high school, please ask your school if they will participate in the 2022 fair. And if the school is unable to participate, contact us so we might be able to have you enter directly. We want to support your interest in science, math, and technology. But you're not watching this video to hear me talk, though my voice is as soothing as an ASMR. So why don't we get started? The program will go as follows. We will hear opening remarks from my mother, director of the Putnam Children's Discovery Center, and the founder of the fair, Janice Newman. Then, a word from Frank Icapelli, coordinator of the Judges Committee. This will be followed by the Elementary School Awards. Afterwards, we will hear our keynote address from Judy Vigar, Vice President of PepsiCo Research and Development, our grand sponsor. Then, the middle school and high school category awards. Afterwards, we will break down the rules for advancing to Broadcom National Middle School Competition. There, we will present our alternate middle school nominees for competition and the top 10% middle school nominees who may elect to advance for Broadcom competition. Then, the prestigious Judge Edith Miller Excellence Award for Top Middle School Exhibit, followed by the Susan Shale Handelman Award for Scholastic Excellence in Science and Technology for Top Middle School. Finally, we'll break down the rules for the New York State Science Congress High School competition and hear from Joseph Siami. There, we will present our alternate nominees and present our top 5 high school nominees for New York Science Congress High School competition and the Marilyn Reiner Science and Education Award for Top High School Exhibit. Shall we get started? I say yes. Here to start us off is the director of the Putnam Children's Discovery Center and founder of the fair, my wonderful mother, Janice Newman.
Hi, my name is Janice Newman. I'm the executive director of the Putnam Children's Discovery Center, and we annually organize the Tri-County Science and Technology Fair. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Judy Vigar and PepsiCo Global R&D for not only being our grand sponsor this year, but for being our grand sponsor for the past several years, as well as providing judges for us. That's been a huge help. I'd also like to thank Frank Icapelli, Dean Galea, Mark Kramer, Shawan Khan, Jonah Stottmeyer, Mark Newman, Matthew Newman, Gail Dusso, and Doug Mann for also being some of the key volunteers that put all of this together. We are looking forward to seeing you all next year in 2022. Hopefully we'll be live, but whatever is thrown at us, we will deal with, because what's most important to all of us that volunteer to put this together is to make sure that there's opportunities for students that love science. Years ago, there was a little kindergartner who was 5 years old, and he came to our fair, and he when you got to his table, he goes, "Do you know everything in the world can be measured in inches? This is 5 inches, and this is 10 inches." He hadn't even gotten to yards and feet and miles. He was just so excited that his ruler could measure so many things. If you capture this at a young age, this will be the next mathematician that will solve some sort of world problem. And so it is my hope that regardless of what's going on, whether your school is virtual, your school is hybrid, that parents help to get involved and have actual activities at home with their children, because part of being in school is sitting around that table and watching that volcano and waiting for it to erupt and waiting for it to erupt, and then boom, it erupts, and everybody quickly writes down their data and formulates what they saw. And that's impossible to have when you're dealing with social distancing. And so I hope that and it's also impossible to really get that feeling watching that on YouTube or Zoom. So I'm hoping that, hopefully we're done with the pandemic. But if we're not, and we have to, move forward, I really hope that people will consider doing some of these home projects to excite young scientists, because you really do need to start at pre-K and K and the early years, exciting young people. That's one of the reasons why our fair happens to be the only regional fair in New York State that includes the lower grades. I feel that it's extremely important to start with the elementary kids, and those become the middle school kids. And we've had a couple of kids that literally have gone from elementary all the way through high school with us, and it's so exciting to me to see those names pop up, because I go, oh wow, they're still involved in science. So this is kind of like the important thing, because once they go from elementary and get excited in middle school, we have Broadcom, which is a national competition, and I'm really pleased that we've, for the past several years, we've sent somebody who's made it to the top 300. Please go to our website and check that out at discoveryctr.org. And last year we had one gal that won $25,000 at Broadcom. And speaking of Broadcom, unfortunately, Long Island was unable to hold a regional fair. So we incorporated those schools into our fair. So technically speaking, this year we are 5 counties on the middle school level, and I'm very happy that we were able to help those students achieve Broadcom status. We also, on the high school level, send students on to New York State. Again, the exhibits were absolutely outstanding. I hope that we are able to be live next year, although I will tell you, one of the great advantages to being virtual is that no one has to show up, including me. I had surgery the week that all the exhibits were coming in, so literally the fair can be done from anywhere. And by the way, thank you very much for those of you that sent prayers and well wishes after my surgery. So without further ado, I would like to turn this back over to our MC. And I'm looking forward, just as you are, as to who has won. It's hard for me to say, because I thought that everybody did a great job. And again, thanks to all the parents for the help that they did, and to all the hard work for the students. And we look forward to seeing you in 2022. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mom, for your words. And no thank you to the construction workers doing work outside of your building. Unless all that banging was a show of support for hands-on science programming, at which point, good on you, construction people. And now, to speak about judging, Frank Icapelli.
Hi, my name is Frank Icapelli, and I'm the coordinator of the Judges Committee, and in years past, Master of Ceremonies for the Tri-County Science and Technology Fair. I've been involved with the fair for the better part of 25 years, and like last year, this year's fair is virtual due to the restrictions brought on by the pandemic. But even as a virtual fair, we're still the only regional fair in New York State to feature students from Westchester, Rockland, and Putnam counties in all 3 grade levels, elementary, middle, and high school, competing across multiple science and technology categories. Plus, because the pandemic eliminated many local school science fairs, for the first time ever, we've also invited some Long Island middle schools to compete in our science fair. This year we've attracted nearly 320 exhibits, of which almost 45% are in just 3 categories: clinical social psychology, environment, and medicine and medical science and technology. Now, as you can imagine, finding judges qualified to evaluate such exhibits can be a challenge. But the virtual setting of our fair has allowed us to expand the scope of our judging pool. We're no longer constrained by judges solely from the Tri-County region who just so happen to be available on the specific day and time when the exhibits are presented. Instead, we've attracted more than 170 judges, an all-time record for us, from throughout the country who might not have ordinarily judged our exhibits. We've recruited technical professionals, medical professionals, folks from industry, academia, military, and the government, college professors and students, even some past winners of our science fair. Ordinarily, we assign 3 judges per exhibit, but this year, some exhibits, depending on the level and category, were evaluated by as many as 7 judges, also an all-time record for us. This means that this year's fair is probably our most extensively and thoroughly judged fair ever. I want to thank all our judges for taking the time out of their busy schedules to evaluate the exhibits. I've read many of your comments made about the exhibits, and they are truly positive, constructive, and inspiring. And in the end, that's what this is all about: to inspire, to motivate, and to encourage interest in science, technology, engineering, and math among our youth. And one final word about the director and founder of the Tri-County Science and Technology Fair. I've known Janice Newman for the better part of the last 25 years, and more than anyone I know, she puts the children first. Her dedication, boundless energy, and perseverance have made the Tri-County Science and Technology Fair the premium destination for students of all ages to showcase their talents, skills, and passion for science and technology. Congratulations to all the students participating in this year's fair. Your parents, your teachers, your mentors, and we are all very proud of you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you to Frank, and thank you to all of our judges. Now, I have to ask you at home, how are you judging my job thus far? 0 out of 10 stars? Across the board? Perfect. I'll take it. We now move on to the presentation of our elementary school award. But first, the rules.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now our pleasure to announce the awards for the Tri-County Science and Technology Fair at the level of elementary school from kindergarten through 4th grade. It is the policy of the fair to recognize every student at the elementary school level for their hard work and effort in science and technology. All students will receive a ribbon for either excellent or outstanding achievement.
Thank you, smooth jazz and sound of robot voice. And now, the winners of this year's elementary school category awards. Presenting this year's awards, Matt. Okay, let me just take these off so I can read. In the category of chemistry, Hope Abbey, the award Outstanding, from Effie Bellows School for an exhibit entitled Egg Replacement Experiment. Also in the category of chemistry, Charles Barker and Oliver Barker, an excellent award from the Effie Bellows School for The Handalorians, How Hand Warmers Work and What Makes Them Work Better. In the category of engineering and technology, Stephen Osgood, the award Excellent from the school Effie Bellows for their exhibit The Strength of Glue. In the category of environment, we have 2 winners. Jacob Abraham, with the award being an excellent, from the school Effie Bellows for their exhibit titled How Does Aquarium Water Affect Plant Growth? Also in environment, Veronica Garrett and Nia Nkomo, with an excellent award, from the William Ward School, for their exhibit titled Crystallization to Liquefaction, the Transformation of Honey. In the category of Health and Medicine, Gabe Damore, with an excellent award, from the F.E. Bellows School, for their exhibit Is the 5-Minute Rule Real? And finally, in Math and Computers, Lucy Evangelista, with an excellent award, from the F.E. Bellows School, for their exhibit What Are Some Causes That Make Internet Go Bad? Congratulations to all of our elementary school participants and our winners. Back to you, Matt. Thanks, Matt. You know, when I was in elementary school, I got kicked out of the school play for talking. I was playing a tree. And now, for our keynote address, PepsiCo Vice President of Research and Development, Judy Vigar.
Hello, students, families, friends, and judges. Welcome to the 2021 Tri-County Science Fair. My name is Judy Vigar, and I'm a Vice President in Research and Development at PepsiCo. And this is my 8th year judging the Tri-County Science Fair. Last year, when I spoke to you in a recorded speech from my living room, I never expected that I would be doing the same thing this year. I spoke last year on making plans and then adapting. I spoke about having perseverance and keeping a positive outlook. I never realized when I wrote that just how much we would have to adapt over last year, how much we would have to persevere, and how much we would have to keep a positive outlook through some really challenging times, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The fact that you are watching this video today is testament that you have adapted and persevered and kept that positive outlook. Well done. Today, I want to address 3 more areas in which you have been successful and you should acknowledge for yourself. These are your resilience, your flexibility, and your passion and heart. First, you are resilient. You have worked on these science projects for weeks and months. Sometimes you've been able to meet with your teachers and advisors in person, and sometimes you've had to meet virtually. You've not been able to conduct experiments in normal ways. You've not been able to engage with test subjects in normal ways. You've not been able to engage and talk together to discuss experimental design options and experimental results in normal ways. You are resilient to work through all of that, to be here with your projects successfully completed. Your experiments may not have had the best results because of the limitations you faced, and you're here. And you've learned a lot about scientific approach, and you did experiments as best as you could, and you kept going. You have the results of your experiments, and you have the answers to your experimental questions. You've done a great job presenting them to us as judges. You are resilient. You're also flexible. That's important as a scientist. Last year, I spoke about needing to adapt as things change. That is reactive. You reacted quickly and effectively last year, which is important as a scientist. This year, you went into the development of these projects knowing that you needed to be flexible and have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. That's proactive. This year, you proactively knew that you needed multiple options and you prepared for the unexpected. That's also important as a scientist. You created your project plans in a very dynamic environment, and you had to have contingencies and backup plans. You successfully led your projects to completion because you had the forethought to proactively create contingency. That's flexibility. Finally, you have passion and heart. You have to be passionate for what you're studying, to be a scientist, and to be successful in your projects in this environment. Great scientists are great thinkers, and more importantly, great scientists have it in their hearts to believe in what they are doing. Scientists believe they can change the world, and you can believe that you can change the world. Every journey begins with the first step. Your projects are those first steps on a lifelong journey of searching for answers to scientific questions. You have passion and heart to take this journey. I certainly hope that next year I'll be able to meet with you in person. Some of you will be graduating and heading off to college, I wish you all the best. Please take some of the learnings from the past year and take them with you as you go on in your education and in your life. You are resilient, you are flexible, and you have passion. Take all that you have learned about yourself, your projects, and your experiences of the past year to go out into the world and do good and take care of each other. Congratulations. I wish you all of the best.
Thank you to our grand sponsor, Pepsi, and again, thank you to Ms. Vigar. We now move on to the middle school and high school category awards, but first, the rules.
It is now our pleasure to announce the awards for the Tri-County Science and Technology Fair at the level of middle school from 5th through 8th grades and high school from 9th through 12th grades. The video presentations and questionnaire responses from each exhibit were evaluated by 3 judges and scored independently in the areas of creative ability, scientific thought, thoroughness, skill, and clarity. After the scores were combined, the 3 highest scoring exhibits within each category and grade level can be awarded a plaque for first, second, and third place. To qualify for third place, the exhibit score must average at least 80 out of 100. A second place award is given to an exhibit that scores no less than an average of 85, while the first place exhibit must attain at least an average of 90. That means it's entirely possible that we might not give out a first or second place award if none of the exhibits in that category scores beyond the minimum required. In the event of a tie, each exhibit that qualifies for an award will receive a plaque. All first place middle school award winners will also receive a t-shirt. The high school exhibit awarded first place in each category also receives a $100 cash award. In the event of multiple students from the same first place exhibit, or a tie for first place, among 2 or more exhibits in a category, the cash will be split equally among all winners. All award winners will receive an email within the next day or 2, with instructions on how you can receive your award. We will now announce the first, second, and third place middle school award winners, followed by high school award winners within each category. So, let's get started.
Thank you, strange superhero music and different robot voice. And now, the winners from the middle school and high school category awards. Here to present the awards for middle school and high school for the first time tonight, Matt. Thanks, Matt. We're here, big moment. I have a list of the winners on a PDF on my computer, and I'm going to read them for you now. Now, just a reminder, I am not a young science man. I am a comedian first and foremost, so I will do my best reading these unbelievably impressive terms that apparently all of you know, and I don't. Mycelium? I don't know. Everyone's learning. Again, just a reminder, there is a minimum score threshold. So to be eligible for first place, you have to score higher than 90, for second place 85, and third place an 80. So keep in mind that is a minimum. So if we have a 98, a 97, and 92, those are first, second, and third place winners. But if we have a 92, an 84, and an 80, then first place would be the 92, and third place would be the 84. So there would be no second place. And again, we're going to be reading it with the middle school in the category, followed by the high school in that same category. But you all get it already. So why don't we get on to reading the list of winners. At the middle school level in the category of biology, we have a tie for third place. From Greenville, the project The Effect of Light Exposure on Plant Growth, Anya Pathak. And from Grand Avenue, the project Are Hippodamia Convergens More Effective at Removing a Cithrosiphon Pisum Than a Chemical Called Imidacloprid? Evan Kohlberg. We have a tie for second place. From Mayapack Middle School for the project Wi-Fried, Liam Bergerson. And from Grand Avenue for the project The Effect of Flower Concentration on Mycelium Hemp Material Strength, Peter Idilvich. And first place from Rhineck for the project Comparing the Effectiveness of Disinfecting with Isopropyl Alcohol, IPA, when it is diluted with either distilled or tap water, Spencer Elliott. And from Scarsdale for the project Design of a Low Resource Screening Technology for HIV Drug Resistance using Sherlock, Arman Ahmed. Taking second place from Putnam Valley for the project Examining Differences in Blood Calcium, Phosphorus, and T4 levels in various breeds of canines, a study on its associations between the age of spay-neutering and osteopathic diseases, Emma Silverman. Taking first place from Byram Hills for the project Elucidating Mechanisms and Impacts of Age-Related Alterations in Blood CNS Barriers, a transcriptome study of the aging blood-brain barrier and the dry age-related macular degeneration retina, Luke Bryady. At the middle school level, in the category of chemistry, taking third place from William Ward for the project The Effect of a Match on Tears from an Onion, Leo Adams. Taking second place from Albert Leonard for the project Backyard Rockets, Scarlett Hartzman. At the high school level, in the category of chemistry, taking third place from Yorktown for the project Synthesis, Data Collection, and Analysis of Graphene Noble Metal Aerogels for Future Applications in Novel Energy Storage Devices, Francesca Mangione. Taking second place from Hastings-on-Hudson for the project Calculating Conduction Band Energy of COMP11 Hydrogen Catalyst, Jasper Lincoln. At the high school level, in the category of Clinical Social Psychology, taking third place from Mayapak for the project Relationship of the Platform Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram with Depression, Stress, and Anxiety in High School Students, Alexander Gaspar and Andrea Senembrini. Taking second place from Mayapak for the project The Effects of Artificial and Natural Ambient Light on Short-Term Memory, Victoria Longo and Olivia Saturn. Taking first place from Byram Hills for the project How Do Others Perceive Me? An exploration of the influence of self-disclosure statements on viewer perceptions of emerging adults who stutter, Raquel Connor. At the middle school level, in the category of Earth Space, taking third place from Pelham for the project A Comparison of Phytoplankton in Connection to Biofertilizer for Space Exploration, Thomas Swarovska. Taking second place from Rye, Mask and You Shall Succeed, Pandemic Science using Breakfast of Champions, and Printing Products sure to impress. What is the effect of nanotechnology and ferrofluid on cleaning up ocean oil spills? Dylan Arrow. At the high school level, in the category of Earth Space, taking third place from Scarsdale for the project Using Rare Dust Absorbers to Calculate Column Density and Other Properties in the Early Universe, Hannah Wang. Taking second place from Westlake for the project Calculating the Rate of Cosmic Microspheral Deposition, a Novel Global Time Marker for Geological Reconstruction, Amy Holland. At the middle school level, in the category of Engineering Technology, taking third place from Mayopac for the project What's the Best Conductor, Cass Fabi. At the high school level, in the category of Engineering Technology, taking third place from Harrison for the project Creating a Wearable Device to Help Parkinson's Patients Maintain an Upright Seated Position, Bailey Fisher. We have a tie for second place. Taking second place from Byram Hills for the project The Effects of Scaling on Muscle Force Production in Biological Machines, Tessa Schwartz. And from Yorktown for the project of Utilizing a Modified Electrostatic Precipitator for the Efficient Removal of Particulate Matter at its Origin, Swaroop Pujari. At the middle school level, in the category of Environment, taking third place from Robert E. Bell for the project of Earth-Safe Face Masks, Nora Morton. Taking second place from Albert Leonard for the project Biomedia Bonanza, Karun Kulamavalavan. And we have a three-way tie for first place. Taking first place from Rhineck for the project What Impact Do Different Amounts of Calcium Hydroxide, a Possible Way to Raise pH to Help with Ocean Acidification, have on algae, Daphnia magna, and barnacles, Ella Gran. From George Fisher for the project How Helpful to the Environment Are Electric Cars Really, Arav Prasad. And from Grand Avenue, glycine betaine improves tolerance to cadmium in lemna minor, Tristan Basundial. At the high school level, in the category of Environment, we have an unprecedented four-way tie for third place. Taking third place from Irvington for the project The Relationship Between the American Eel Population and Chlorophyll Fluorescence, Samantha Levin. Also in third place from Irvington for the project DNA Methylation and Virulence in Bacterial Blight Rice Pathogens, Xanthomonas oryzae PV oryzae, Renice Wong. And also in third place from Hastings-on-the-Hudson for the project of Clarifying Bobcat, Lynx rufus, distribution in Westchester, New York and Fairfield, Connecticut counties, a comprehensive compilation of existing data and a targeted non-invasive camera trap search in a distribution void, Kayla Ossen-Gutnick. And also in third place, from Yorktown, for the project The Impact of the Presence of Mojita scalaris on Macroinvertebrate Pollution Tolerance in Microcosms from Freshwater Systems, Maya Corinthula and Adarsh Nair. Taking second place, from Irvington, for the project of Effectiveness of Native and Invasive Terrestrial Herbaceous Plants in Mitigating Nitrogen in Leachate, Aviv Marcus. Taking first place from Peekskill for the project of Climate-Driven Adaptation of Nutrient Preferences and Cycling of Mixotrophic Green Noctiluca scintillans in the Arabian Sea, Elisa D'Souza. At the middle school level, in the category of Health and Medicine. Taking third place from Pelham for the project of Matter of the Heart Association of Body Mass Index with Heart Rate and Blood Pressure, Anika Roy. Taking second place from Seven Bridges for the project A Study of COVID-19 Affected Other Diseases, Adya Vigil and Aditi Vigil. Taking first place from Albert Leonard on the project The Impact of Certain Activities on the Training of the Vestibular System to Reduce Dizziness, Elena Adams. In the high school level, in the category of Health and Nutrition, we have a tie for third place. Taking third place from Harrison for the project Comparing Weight Changes During Treatment Epochs in Stroke, Traumatic Brain Injury, and Debility Patients, Jillian Williams. And from Harrison for the project The Effect of the New Western Diet on the Metabolite Concentration on the Epithelial Cells and the Microbiome of the Small and Large Intestines, a Study of Factors that could lead to tumor development, Julina Peruta. And taking first place from Harrison for the project The Epigenetic Effects of the Antioxidant resveratrol on prolonging the lifespan of Drosophila melanogaster over multiple generations, Larissa Iraj. At the middle school level, in the category of Math and Computers, taking third place from George Fisher for the project Author AI, Xander Robinson. At the high school level, in the category of Math and Computers, we have a tie for third place. Taking third place from Mayapack for the project Investigating Channel-Adapted Bacon-Shore Quantum Error Correction Codes in a Realistic Setting, Alexa Tyberg. Also in third place from Yorktown for the project Developing a Convolutional Neural Network Classifier to Identify Atrial Fibrillation Rhythms from Electrocardiogram Recordings, Ella Chi and Eva Chi. Taking second place from Ardsley for the project Identification of Correlated Qubit Errors for Quantum Computing Error Correction, Peyton Shales. And we have a tie for first place. Taking first place from North Salem for the project Investigating Neural Network Structures Through the Game of Go, Mark Tacken. And from the Hackley School for the project Evaluation and Development of Neural Network-Based Methods for Improved Imputation of Missing Values in Time Series Data, Daniel Zhang. At the high school level, in the category of Medicine and Medical Science and Technology, we have a tie for third place. Taking third place from Somers for the project Assessing the Correlation Between Most Affected Demographics of the Novel Coronavirus, COVID-19, and Vaccines Administered in the United States from 1920 to 2020, Peyton DeSiena. Also in third place from Hastings-on-Hudson, for the project, Do Bainbridge-Roper syndrome causing ASXL3 mutations influence transcript stability and exon exclusion-inclusion by disrupting exonic splicing enhancer sequences? Kaylee Oppenheimer. We have a tie for second place. Taking second place from Somers for the project Early Prediction of Alzheimer's Disease with a Multimodal Multitask Deep Learning Model, Nitin Sheshadri. Also in second place, from Edgemont for the project Integrative Analysis of Pancreatic Ductal Adenocarcinoma Microenvironment, utilizing omics with an emphasis on CCAM6, Mihir Patil. Taking first place from Ardsley for the project Impact of Betamethasone on the Expression of Tyrosine Hydroxylase, Positive Neurons in the Arcuate Nucleus, Anisha Kumar and Caitlin Tomine. At the middle school level in the category of Physics, taking third place from Albert Leonard for the project Virtual Learning, Optimizing Low-Cost Display Screens for Better Health, Julian Belfast. Taking second place from Copieg for the project Best Fishing Knot, Irie Waterbury. Taking first place from Edgemont for the project The Use of TENG to increase the effectiveness of N95 masks by blocking aerosols containing SARS-CoV-2, Anya Shah. At the high school level, in the category of Physics, taking third place from Rye Country Day School for the project Exploring the High Energy Gamma Ray Emissions from Neutrino Blazar candidate source TXS 0506 plus 056, Deepta Gupta. Taking second place from Hastings-on-Hudson for the project in investigation of Blazar jet variability through an analysis of TUN 599, Adam Oppenheimer. At the high school level, in the category of Physiological Experimental Psychology, taking third place from Westlake for the project investigating 3 animal models of depression and their correlation with sleep abnormalities as a predictor for clinical trials in humans, Anastasia Chernikov. Taking second place from Irvington for the project targeting nociceptin receptors in depression, A11C NOPE1A PET study, Emmeline Yanger. Taking first place from Putnam Valley for the project A Visual Cortex Examination, Familiarity, and Selective Roybold Signal Differences Between Scenes and Objects, Behaviorally and Neurologically, Aaliyah Steele. And finally, at the middle school level in the category of Psychology, taking third place from Rhineck for the project Comparing Auditory and Visual Distraction, Phoebe Carmel. And taking second place from Rhineck for the project Color and Memory, John Sykes. Congratulations to the middle school and high school winners and to all of our participants. Now I'm going to drink the tallest glass of water I have ever had. Back to you, Matt. Those were a lot of words, but you have even more words to say. Are you ready? Still not enough. It's still not enough. Great. We will now move on to the Broadcom section, which of course means another chance to hear the rules.
It is now our pleasure to announce which middle school exhibits are eligible to advance to the national competition known as Broadcom Masters, which is a program from the Society for Science and the Public. Masters stands for Math, Applied Science, Technology, and Engineering for Rising Stars. As the premier science and engineering national competition for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students, Broadcom Masters inspires middle school students to pursue their personal passion for innovation in STEM subjects, and inspires them to stay with math and science throughout high school and into exciting careers. The top 10% highest scoring exhibits from 6th through 8th grades only, eligible to advance as a nominee to the Broadcom Masters national competition. Therefore, it's possible for an exhibit not to place first, second, or third within a category, and yet still be eligible to advance to the national competition as a nominee. Nominees from this fair will receive instructions on how to submit their application to officially enter the national competition. Entries are judged during the summer, and the 300 top projects will be announced in September. From these top 300 semifinalists, 30 finalists, and 1 parent or guardian, will win an all-expense-paid trip to the national finals in Washington, D.C., to showcase their projects. If any of the top 10% highest-scoring exhibits choose not to compete as a nominee for the Broadcom Masters national competition, the next 10% highest-scoring exhibits from 6th through 8th grades only, as part of the top 20%, would be eligible to fill in as alternates for one or more of those top slots in rank order by their overall exhibit score.
Thank you, royalty-free news music and third robot voice. And now for the announcements for Broadcom. The alternates are selected from the top 20% of highest-scoring middle school exhibits from 6th through 8th grades. They will be asked to fill in for any of the top 10% who will be nominated for the Broadcom Masters national competition. The Broadcom alternates, in no particular order, are Copiag Middle School's Irie Waterbury, Grand Ave Middle School's Evan Kohlberg, Pelham Middle School's Anika Roy, Grand Ave Middle School's Peter Idolvich, Albert Leonard Middle School's Scarlett Hartzman, and from Seven Bridges, Adya Vigil and Aditi Vigil. It is now my pleasure to announce the top 10% among all middle school exhibits from 6th through 8th grade who are eligible to compete as a nominee for the Broadcom Masters national competition. The Broadcom nominees in no particular order are: from Rye Middle School, Dylan Arrow; from Albert Leonard, Karun Kulamavalavan; from Rhineck Middle School, Spencer Elliott; also from Rhineck Middle School, Ella Gran; from Edgemont, Anya Shah; from Grand Avenue, Tristan Basundial; and from Albert Leonard, Elena Adams. Congratulations to all our Broadcom nominees and alternates. We will now move on to a few words from my mother as to what the Broadcom nominees and alternates should expect next, followed by a video about my grandmother, Judge Edith Miller, and Susan Handelman. We will then hand out the Judge Edith Miller Award and the Susan Handelman Award. But first, a word from my mother.
Congratulations to all of our Broadcom nominees and alternates. This is very important. You're going to receive an email from me, all of you, on probably Monday night into Tuesday. If you do not hear from me and your name is on the list, you must email me Wednesday so we're definitely connected. The way that we handle Broadcom is the nominees have the first right to go, obviously, and the alternates are just waiting for a nominee to drop out. Our scores are very tight. In other words, somebody could get a 99.98 and be a nominee, and then somebody else could be a 99.97 and be an alternate. This is why it's important that the nominees make a decision. They look at what's involved, and they decide whether or not they're able to go. Sometimes the dates conflict. You have like a ballet recital or football or something else going on in your family. And so rather than just sending your name up and then nothing happens, I'd rather put somebody else in your spot. You still will retain your Broadcom medal from us. So that doesn't go away. So look for that email. It's your responsibility to look for that email from me. And if you don't receive one, to email me on Wednesday so that we can get everything cleared up. Now, Friday at noon is our cutoff, and it's a strict cutoff. So Friday at noon is our cutoff, and whatever we have on our plate is how we're going to formulate what goes up to Broadcom, and then we will come up with a final list of who is actually going to Broadcom. Another important fact, if you're on a team of 3 and one person does not wish to go, that's fine. The other 2 can go. Actually, the other 2 will be separated. So the team of 3 really becomes 3 individual exhibits and 3 individual decisions. I'd like to say congratulations again to those winners. Thank you, and back to our MC.
Congratulations to all our Broadcom nominees and their alternates. Did you know my comedy has been described as an alternative to entertainment? Just something I think about. And now our top middle school awards. First up, an award for top middle school exhibit named in honor of the illustrious career and life of my grandmother, Judge Edith Miller.
Hi, I'm Judge Edith Miller's daughter. We were always taught that education was probably the most important thing. And it wasn't so much education, college, it was having a skill that you could make your own. And I'm forever grateful to her for that.
The impact that Edith had was rather profound.
In her day, back in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, growing up, many poor people, women, persons of color, did not have the opportunities to get an education to get ahead. They were either too poor or they were discriminated against. So for her, education was a way to get out of that poverty. Education was a step up. Education was a path to the future.
Something she always used to say to me was, if you plan to fail or fail to plan, the result is still the same. And that's true. You know, education and preparation, being prepared for your opportunities.
She had to walk to school during the winter with cardboard in her shoes. And when she did go to college and she graduated from Hunter, she was the only black woman who graduated.
She was able to become so much more than what society believed she could or would become, and education was the driving force behind why she was able to achieve as much as she was able to achieve in life. Not many folks can say that they sat on the Supreme Court. She did. Not many people can say that they became a lawyer in their life. She did. And not many of those folks can say that those things took place before the Civil Rights Movement. She can.
One of the reasons why I chose middle school for this award is because middle schoolers are at a crossroads where, you know, they decide basically what they're planning on doing for the rest of their lives.
Hi, I'm Peter Nicholas.
I'm Ara Begui.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Bee.
and in 6th grade I won the Judge Edith Miller Award.
I'm a previous winner of the Judge Edith Miller Award when I won it in 7th grade, which would be 2.5 years ago.
We participated and took home first place in Tri-County Science Fair in the Psychology Department in 2018 and 19.
My product used UVC light for disinfection, and this is the box I made for my experiment. I remember being called up to the front of the auditorium with all the other Broadcom Masters nominees. When my name was called as the winner, I was in complete shock.
Originally I was really shocked and really happy at the time, but afterwards the effects were just tremendous.
Winning the award was key for my progression as a scientist. It made me feel more confident and let me expand my projects into more complex ideas.
We had an amazing experience, and although yours will be different, we're sure you will too.
Because the thing that makes Tri-County Science Fair so amazing is being able to present your science fair projects and learn from others, which now you can do virtually.
I got a massive self-confidence boost, and this allowed me to be less stressed, and I could actually enjoy my classes rather than be constantly stressed about my grades, because I was able to be confident in what I was doing.
Middle school is a key time to expand your scientific knowledge and gain more experience. And even though this year is very different, I hope all of you are able to execute your projects, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Hopefully you feel the same excitement we did.
Have fun.
One of the things that impressed me about my mom was when she passed away, the number of people that came up to me and said, "I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for your mother."
Especially, I went through a very rough period in my life. She would mentor me around her kitchen table to convince me that I was capable of achieving more than I thought I was. And without her, I would probably not have become the professor at Harvard University.
And so make sure you thank your parents, your teachers, and all those persons who helped you along the way. Again, congratulations, and looking forward to seeing you maybe next year.
And so now it is our pleasure to announce the top middle school exhibit.
The Judge Edith Miller Award winner for this year is Albert Leonard's Elena Adams. Congratulations to you, Elena. Now, for the top middle school, the Susan Shale Handelman Award for Scholastic Excellence in Science and Technology. Susan Shale Handelman has been an educator in private and public schools in Connecticut and New York, and a volunteer for many organizations, including the Putnam Children's Discovery Center. Being a registered nurse and teacher, family science nights included Susan with the three-dimensional human body puzzle and eye and ear models, sharing anatomy and physiology facts with curious children and their chaperones. She arranged the initiation of the hands-on science classes at the Kent Schools in Carmel, New York, to provide day and evening enrichment workshops, which attracted participants from other districts as well. Though now retired, these ongoing educational, science, and health interests inspired a special appreciation and support for the quality programs the Discovery Center brings to communities. She has helped the center with funding, obtaining teachers and judges, plus lobbied for the Tri-County Science Fair's increased participation. Her late husband James and sons Zach and Jed participated in Discovery Center endeavors as well. Zach not only helped the fair volunteering and participating in his youth, but he also came as a judge in 2018 when we kicked off the award in her honor. The Susan Shale Handelman Award for Scholastic Excellence in Science and Technology, the best middle school with the highest overall average among all other middle schools. Who knows, maybe her grandson Asher will follow in the family tradition, and one day his school will win the award. And the winner of the Susan Shale Handelman Award for Scholastic Excellence in Science and Technology, Grand Ave Middle School. Congratulations to both Elena and the Grand Ave School. Back to you, Matt. We now move on to New York Science Congress and an address from Joseph Siami. But first, the rules.
Highest scoring high school exhibits are eligible to advance to the New York State Science Congress competition. If any of the top 4 cannot compete at the fair, the next 5 highest scoring alternates, in rank order by their overall exhibit score, would be eligible to fill in one or more of those top slots. Finally, the highest scoring exhibit among all high school entries is given the prestigious Marilyn Reiner Science in Education plaque and an additional $100 cash award. In the event of a tie, that award is split equally among the winners. But before we present the alternates and nominees, we've asked Joseph Siami to explain the logistics of the Science Congress and say a few words about Marilyn Reiner, for whom the top high school award is named.
Hello. Thank you for having me speak with you today at the 2021 Tri-County Science Fair. I am Joseph Siami. I belong to the Westchester section of the Science Teachers Association of New York, also known as STANIS. I am the liaison between this Tri-County Fair and Science Congress. I'd like to once again thank Janice Newman, your director, for providing young minds like yours with the opportunity to reach your goals in the world of science. In many cases, scientific innovations can have both a positive and a negative effect. What we've lived through this past year can be shown on a very large scale. In this time of negativity, where many people have lost jobs, lost businesses, and have had their normal routines disrupted, some things have excelled. This virtual science fair is a prime example. It was reported to me that the number of entrants this year surpassed 200, far more than we've ever had. While much can be said about education and the quality of study today in schools, you are proof that students wish to achieve success and have made learning a #1 priority. Last year, Science Congress was canceled due to a lack of entrants. The lack of entrants had something to do with the COVID pandemic, but it was not a reflection on the dedication of students from the Tri-County region. 5 students were selected and had every intention of going to Syracuse. Just this past month, Science Congress has decided that it will be held. The date this year is June 12, 2021, and again, it will be held in Syracuse. We will send the top 5 finishers to Science Congress. If any of those top 5 are unable to attend, we will then select from the next 4 finalists in order of finish. Students must email me with their intentions. In your email, please provide me with your name, your school, the title of the project, and the name of the teacher in charge. Email this to jsiame, that's JSCIAME, at stfrancisprep, all one word, stfrancisprep.org. Please note that if you are a teacher who had my email in the past, this is a new email. Once I have your info, you will be able to go to stanis.org/Science Congress to download the forms you will need. Please fill these out to the best of your ability. I will send instructions once I receive your first email on how to answer some of the questions. You do not need to provide an entrance fee. The $100 entrance fee will be paid by Westchester STANIS. I would also like to make this request of all the teachers of all of these fine students. Please consider joining the Science Teachers Association of New York State. There are new science standards on the horizon, and we will be one of the top places to find out about these. You can register for STANIS at stanis.org/membership. Once again, the Westchester section of STANIS would like to pledge a donation of $250 towards the Marilyn Reiner Scholarship Fund. Marilyn was a major influence both here in Westchester and as a Stannis leader and as a friend to this organization of Tri-County. Good luck to all. Never make one loss the reason to quit, and always better yourself, even when you win. Take care and be safe.
Thank you, Joseph Siami and the Teachers Association, and their wonderful donation to the Marilyn Reiner Award. And to echo that sentiment about never quitting just from one loss, I recently lost 5 pounds, but that didn't get me to quit. I have since gained back the weight. And now, the results for New York Science Congress. It's now time to announce the top 9 highest scoring exhibits on the high school level. This is divided into 4 alternates and 5 nominees. The alternates, in no particular order. Putnam Valley High School's Emma Silverman. Mayapack High School's Alexander Gaspar and Andrea Sedembrini. Ardsley High School's Anisha Kumar and Caitlin Tomini. And Peekskill High School's Elisa D'Souza. I would also like to announce the top 5 highest scoring high school exhibits that can advance the New York State Science Congress, held at the Milton J. Rubenstein Museum of Science and Technology. Please remember to watch Joe Siami's video so you can email him upon hearing this news and let him know if you plan on attending. In the event you cannot, Mr. Siami will select from the alternates. Our nominees this year are Byram Hills High School's Luke Bryety, Irvington High School's Emily Yanger, Mayapack High School's Victoria Longo and Olivia Saturn, Byram Hills High School's Raquel Connor, and Putnam Valley High School's Aaliyah Steele. It is also my pleasure to announce the top high school exhibit, the winner of the Marilyn Reiner Science and Education Award from Putnam Valley High School, Aaliyah Steele. Congratulations to all of you. Back to you, Matt. Congratulations to all the participants in this year's fair. Sincerely, if you are watching this video, you should be incredibly proud of yourself, no matter the outcome. Science is not for winners and losers. It is for the imaginative and curious. Keep up your curiosity. Celebrate that you no longer have to hear me speak. And we will see you next year, hopefully in person, at the 2022 Science and Technology Fair. I'm Matthew Newman, and I've been wearing gym shorts this entire time. Good night.